Good evening, everybody. This is Appio Hunter, the resident happiness champion at Project Positive Change, and your host for this evening's webinar, Top Floor Elevator Pitches. I am really thrilled to be able to introduce Angie Charlebois to you tonight. Angie is an amazingly gifted certified coach who hails from the Yukon, which is in northern Canada. And we're super excited that she's willing to share her expertise and enthusiasm with us this evening. Her company, Motherload Coaching, helps writers, entrepreneurs, and leaders from all industries to unearth their brilliance and achieve higher levels of alignment and abundance. I love that. With a background in sales, marketing, and politics, Angie writes powerfully and convincingly. And as you'll see today, she is really fierce in the pursuit of just the right word. Today's presentation is more like a workshop where you'll get to craft your own elevator pitch, one that feels comfortable and specific to you. This tool will have you ready to engage and entice potential clients wherever you meet them. Please welcome Angie Charlebois and be sure to reach out to her on Facebook at Motherload Coaching. Angie, it's so great to see you, and I'm going to turn it right over to you.
Thanks, Appio. I'm really excited to be here. I delivered this presentation in Ventura Beach last week, and it went over really, really well. Everybody crafted these amazing elevator pitches, and then we got to practice in elevators. Like every 15 or 20 minutes, we were riding up or down, and I was putting people in the hot seat. So I'll jump right into it. I've got a handout that we'll send out that we'll attach in some way to the list of folks who are registered for this call. But I'm going to hop into the presentation that I've created, and we'll go from there. If anyone has questions, Appio is going to navigate the hand raising for the participants who are live on the line now. And anyone who has questions who's watching this later, I'll be happy to engage in chat over Facebook or by email to clarify anything that might not be clear right now. So top floor elevator pitches. We're going to get really clear and focused for a practical introduction that you can use anytime and building rapport with potential clients. So most of the folks that we work with are in industries where direct contact is important. First impressions really matter, and word of mouth references and personal the personal touch really matters. And so that's where this is geared to, when you run into someone, how do you introduce what it is that you do. So the successful elevator pitch creates a few things. First of all, it creates a confidence when you're introducing yourself, and you've already got the right words masterfully downloaded, locked and loaded, ready to deliver, so that you're not stumbling. You exude this success in how you introduce what it is that you do. The genuine connection that a good elevator pitch creates with the person that you're meeting is the foundation to most business relationships. Understanding the needs of your client. When you're delivering an elevator pitch that's very one-sided, you're not hearing at all what your client is after. So this is a bit of as you'll see, a bit of an exchange. You might get some really good ideas based on the questions that your potential client asks of you, and that might in some ways shape or evolve the service you provide. And a next step, so you're actually going to be asking people for something at the end of the pitch, and or introducing an option for continuing the relationship, such as, I'll call you Monday to talk more about that, or I'd really like to follow up with you and your team. How do I get 30 minutes with you guys? So I'm going to demonstrate here with my own little screenshot about all the possibilities, all the stuff that exists in someone's life. I'm Canadian, I'm a skier, I'm an IPPY, I coach Mike Dooley's program, Infinite Possibilities. I'm a coach, I have 3 kids. All this stuff about me, if I don't have a very succinct and crafted elevator pitch, I could go on. And that would make me seem a little less confident than cutting right to the chase, which is, all you need to know about me is that this presentation is about cutting out the superfluous. We're getting rid of all the excess words that often a sales pitch comes with, and we're going straight for elevator pitch, which is just, what do you need to know in this conversation? How can I engage with you and build good rapport? So, from superfluous to just super. I thought that was very clever. So, we're going to simplify what we say. We're not going to justify, apologize, or sell anything. That is not what an elevator pitch is about. We're going to share, we're going to excite, and we're going to connect. So you're going to share what it is that you do. So you're not selling, you're sharing. That feels a lot better. You're going to excite because hopefully what you're doing is exciting to you and is to some degree exciting to someone else, or you're going to find the little piece that's exciting to them. And you're going to connect. You're going to create that genuine connection that a lot of really good relationships are built on. A lot of successful business partnerships are started over, a quick hello in an elevator, over dinner, actually dinner sometimes at a table beside the person you're dining with. Sometimes these little connections are we think that they're quite minor, but done in a real way with a follow-up creates sometimes a very long-lasting relationship, and sometimes a very, very lucrative one. So relationships are the backbone to sales. I think most of us would agree with that. Relationships are also the backbone to really good engagement. So this is actually a photo taken last weekend at the conference. And these are people who didn't know each other before. And look at this. There's actually genuine engagement. And I want to thank Jenny for taking this beautiful photo and letting me use it. So when you're not focused on the relationship and you're not focused on finding a way to share what it is that you do that's meaningful with the other person, the excess chit chat, the excess pushiness that comes across, or if it doesn't come across as pushiness, it might come across as apologizing. I'm Canadian. We do that a lot. We almost seem like we're apologizing for wanting to make a sale to someone who even walked into our store. I'm so sorry that I have to charge you money for this donut. It's a really good donut. Oh gosh, you should just take it for free. Oh, I'm so sorry. And it's such an excess underselling that it devalues what it is that we do. And some of us do that in some softer industries. Coaches are notorious for doing that. So there's this extreme. So the walking, talking brochure effect, where you just go into full launch. You don't even know what they're interested in the service you offer, and you just tell them everything, like I did with my little collage of my life. You don't need to know that I have 3 kids to be on this call with me, and you don't need to know that I have 3 kids for me to be your coach. So if I tell you everything, it's like the walking, talking brochure effect, and it really turns people off. The selling way too early effect. If I start pitching you sales type information about what it costs and what I do and what results you'll have, you're going to feel like you're being sold. You're not going to feel like I'm really there for you, or that I'm even there genuinely. The one-sided conversation effect, that's fun. Everybody gets that at the car dealership when they're being oversold something. Or we seem a little bit self-serving or self-absorbed, and that doesn't give the sense that you're going to get good customer service from someone who's going on and on about themselves. The other unfortunate thing that happens a lot, and sadly, is that we alienate our friends as we attempt to convert them. So some of us have been pitched, multi-level marketing stuff or other things, and it was never really about us. It was the outcome that a friend or family member might have wanted to get, and I think it can be done well. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. So this is a sales pitch. You stand, you deliver, people listen, they're already in the room waiting to buy. You've already gotten them into the room. Now, an elevator pitch is not a sales pitch. This is before you even know what it is that they're interested in. They've just asked you, how do you do? What brings you here? What do you do? Where are you from? And you're just in the conversation mode of building up. So an elevator pitch is an introduction. Who you are, what kind of industry you're in. A potential connection to the needs that your client or potential client has. Or sometimes you can interweave a story of how what you do has helped another. So sometimes I do that when I talk about being a coach. I'll say, I'm a life coach, And what that means is people come to me sometimes wanting to, go from $100,000 a year to, 150, or they want to get a promotion. And what we end up uncovering is that, really they're in the wrong industry, and they have a huge passion for art, and they've always wanted to do something in art, and they're very unhappy in the career that they're in. So, they've transitioned now they're a successful, artist who's touring. I mean, that's a very lucky client engagement. That's fictional. However, sometimes we end up being in a conversation that really shifts. I actually do have a very touching story about a client who was homeless and addicted when she became my client, and I almost turned her down because I don't do counseling or I don't have training in addictions management. But anyway, by working with her through a business idea that she had, she's sober, she's a homeowner, she's has her children back. She last year made more money than I did, and that is the best story I have. That if I died tomorrow, I would be so happy with the career I've had, because I feel like I've really served somebody. So that's a great, that's a great demonstration of what coaching does. So that can just be that can be how you introduce what it is that you do. You tell a story of the impact of what you do. The elevator pitch also is an opportunity to highlight the benefits of working with you. So the benefits of working with me are that I work in politics, so I have that whole back end stuff, but I'm also really on the ground, a really down to earth person. So when I tell a story about working with a homeless woman and getting her into self-reliance, self-employment, I think it demonstrates that I'm really willing to, obviously I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it for the love of it. And that, wouldn't you want to work with someone who loves what they do and can help you love what you do? And the end of the pitch is an invitation. Something like, I'd love to talk more about this. I'm really interested in learning more about your company and how I might be able to help out. How do I get 30 minutes alone with you in your office when we're not in an elevator? And you exchange cards and you make an appointment. So when we're getting ready for crafting our own pitch, it's really important to be clear, to be centered, and to be authentic. And by clear, I mean really understand the different ways that you can describe your particular service or business depending on the market or the opportunity that's in front of you. So I have different words that I use, different language that I use. If I'm pitching very corporate, if I'm at a conference and I know it's going to be nonstop salespeople that I'm running into, I might really talk about results-oriented stuff, and I might give examples if I'm a corporate setting, and I might use very direct language. I'm a coach. I work with leaders. I help them achieve results that they've never had before. I help them connect to their authentic center and really feel good about what they do, or I might even go even more precise than that. If I'm in a softer industry, I might use words that are a little bit more feeling based. I love what I do. I want everybody I work with to love what they do. So I help them uncover their inner passion. People I work from go from, jobs that they, tolerate to careers that explode and that they love. And then I can give an example of somebody that I've done that for. The centeredness is really being grounded and comfortable, really feeling like what you offer is of value. And if you're not there, then you need to get there before you start pitching. Or you need to pitch a lot and get to the place where you find the words that work. I find that when people work with a coach or a friend and they say that, they ask that person for support, then they can really get centered really easily and go, okay, like I want to come across sounding like I am solid in what I do, like I'm really confident in the work I do. So help me if I sound like I'm hesitating, point that out so that I can get clear and authentic. Really mean it. Don't just go for the sale. I don't think I know anybody or work with anybody who's just in it for the money. So I think I'm preaching to the choir when I say this stuff, but really being authentic means that you would hire yourself. You would spend whatever your monthly fee is, or whatever your program fee is, or whatever it is your cost is, you would spend that because you know how good you are, which means offer a product. Be sure you offer a product that shows your best work and that you are 100% confident in and that you feel you can be yourself in. So really studying for the pitch, means take a moment now if you're going to be crafting along with us to just feel that, and I know you won't have the perfect words right this second if you're still working on this, but focus on the 3C or the 2C's and the A: clear, centered, and authentic. That's the goal. You want to come across that way. The elements of the pitch. Basically, in a pitch, you're going to be saying who you are, you're going to be saying what you do, how you do this, the unique way that you do this is the key here. What are you trying to solve? So I'm a life coach. I work with people who want to live life to the fullest, getting, the most passion, the most brilliance, the most excitement out of their career. I do this with a couple of processes that I follow that really get people aligned with their core. Really cut through the crap, cut through the expectations mom or dad had about you, and get through to what your special gift is. I feel that I'm gifted in finding that in others, and I push. I'm not afraid to push. I'm not afraid to make people cry in a session. I'm just not. And I think that's what makes me unique. I care more, I believe more in my clients sometimes than they do about themselves. And they know it. When we're working together, they know it. I will go as deep, as far, as wide. I will work my butt off to get people to embrace their gift and to live their true passion. So that's part of the pitch. There's an example. The confidence mindset. I really feel this touches on the clear, the previous slide about being clear, being authentic, being just really standing in your power. And that's feeling like what you do is really a gift, and that you are the best person for that person. Feeling that, not saying that, but feeling that, being in that place of connecting to, I could really be of service here. Now, what you actually say is, hi, my name is Appio, and this is what I do, and I just love what I do, and this is all the various ways that what I do has been impactful. I'd love to talk to you more about it on Monday. What is it that brings you here? A bit of an engagement. So when you're actually crafting the pitch, because if people want to do this, I'd love to take, volunteers from the group that's with us to actually go through and work it through. I don't know if we have any willing participants, but essentially you would introduce yourself, say what you do, the impact it has, and the follow-up step. Do you want to play? Do we have a volunteer? I think we might have a volunteer, Appio. Do we have a...
We just might. Let's see here. Evelyn, did you volunteer? Let's go ahead and unmute you here. Hold on one second. All righty. Oh, the audio's a little off.
We might not have good audio for this.
Uh-oh. What we can do here for you, Evelyn, if you want to join us by phone. Okay, hold on one second. There we go. Are you on the phone right now?
I switched.
Okay, there we go. Perfect. Yes, we have you on. So, okay, go ahead.
Okay. So, hey, Angie.
Hi, Evelyn.
Oh, so are you able? Oh, let me move this. Okay. So, what is it that you need from me?
Would you like to try out your pitch, and we'll work it through together?
Okay. So, yeah. Okay. So my name's Evelyn, and I love being able to help people generate feelings of validation from within through my program called The Power of Yay Me. It's incredible. It offers transformation of an inner dialogue so that you really get to see the transformation within your life. Transform your inner dialogue, transform your life. It's something I live and breathe. I live and breathe this stuff. And it's one of the most rewarding things is seeing how others are able to recognize more moments of their accomplishment. It's a really comprehensive program. It builds on each element before it. Each element on its own is awesome and could stand alone on its own, but it really fits together to create an incredible transformational program that I could talk about all day.
Sounds very transformational. So can I give you a little bit of feedback?
Please do.
Okay. So I would say and I know your program and I love it. What I would say is an example, because I love hearing you switch. And I'm saying this because I do know your program. I think it's very powerful when you give an example. And so if somewhere in there you actually demonstrated the transformation that happens in the inner dialogue.
Okay, so
because I love the description, and I think an example would be great to really anchor it in my mind.
Okay, thank you. So for example, it all comes back to the yay. If you do something that yielded undesirable results, yay you for recognizing that next time you'd like to respond differently. What would that look like? And it really takes you out of the mindset of, I could have this, I should have that, I always do this. You just allows you to breathe, feel centered. Yay me for recognizing where I was going with my thoughts and what was developing from that to what would this look like next time it shows up, because it will definitely show up again. So it's something that really transforms that venom spewing toxic inner dialogue we have into one that's celebrating and cheering you on. I didn't know it was possible you could have a cheering section, but you absolutely can. Woo!
Awesome. So what I thought when I heard that was the word interruption. It's almost as though your process, your suggested process interrupts the very common negative automatic that we hear. That our brain kind of is so like that neural pathway is so, well worn. It's a very easy path, very slippery, easy to go down. So it's almost like it interrupts that. So if at some point in your elevator pitch, you could change out the word transformation in some of the locations, because you've used it about 4 times and you don't want to dilute that word. It's a very powerful word. So you don't want to dilute its
less is more.
Yeah, less is more. So I would use the word transformational for sure, but maybe, once or twice. And I wonder if interrupt would so let's play it one more time, and I will pretend that we're actually, just meeting up in an elevator.
Okay.
Somewhere. I'm like, hey, what brings you to I don't know, let's pick somewhere cool to go. What brings you to this hotel in Paris?
Right. It's been a dream of mine. I'm here at the convention sharing with new clients my program called The Power of Yay Me. It's something I live and breathe. It's a program that generates feelings of validation from within, so that you are exclaiming the words, yay me. You're feeling it. You're self-validating rather than looking outside of yourself. And it's something that really allows you to interrupt that toxic venom spewing inner dialogue that so many of us have into one that really begins to celebrate your moments of awesome accomplishment. And everything is worth celebrating. There's nothing too small. It's something I live and breathe this. It's brought me through addiction and has allowed me to really love life that much more. I love seeing the transformation that I see in other people and what's possible. It really.
Oh my God, that's awesome. You knocked it out of the park. I'm stopping you. You knocked it out of the park. That was incredible. That was brilliant. Yeah. My only feedback was, were you saying toxic venom spewing?
Yeah. Changes that venom spewing inner dialogue.
Okay. Sorry. I couldn't tell if I had heard it right, just because our line was connecting. Okay. Yeah. I think that's brilliant. You gave some really good examples. You made it really applicable. I almost feel like I could start doing it now, but I want to know more. So how do I sign up? So that's great. You gave me just the right amount. I'm glad we're recording this. That was really brilliant. And, if I was in the elevator with you and I did not know more, I'd go, wow, that sounds amazing. Where do I go to find out more? So that where I stopped you there is where you might go, if you're interested in this, I see it really works well in corporate settings. It works well with, in family settings. I'd love for you to, invite them for something. I'd love to follow up. I'd love to, if you want to know more, here's my card, go to my website. I have this chat room. I have this, Facebook group that really supports, really get them, and I guess it depends on the context, but, get them to the next phase if you can.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. That was really, really brilliant. Thank you for sharing. How did it feel with the shift, the second going?
I really appreciate the feedback of having that word interrupt in there, because that's exactly what it does. And I felt more confident in it. I didn't feel so much like I was stumbling over my words. I guess for me, it would be recognizing that cutoff point of, it looks like it's something you might be interested in. I'd love to connect with you more on this. I have a Facebook group you can connect with me on, The Power of VME. I'd love to see you there, or you can, here's my business card.
I love it.
So,
I really do like how you interweaved your own personal, that it got you through addiction stuff. I think that's so powerful. Your story is really powerful, and I know that from external stuff. So I think that's really wonderful. That would be a real catch for people too. Like, wow, okay, it's that transformational. Like it does that much that people can use it. And so if people, face to face in an actual elevator scene, if you see that they're really interested in that, you can pause there and say, yeah, actually, before being this like multi-million-dollar, presenter international person that I am now, I was, and this little trick made such a difference, in how I dealt with my life, because it wasn't day by day, it was moment by moment, and I know that you say some of that in the work you do, and you're just absolutely brilliant. And so at any point you can expand a little, or contract a little based on the level of interest that you can gauge when you're face to face. Wonderful. Oh my gosh. I'm not sure we have any other takers on this, but I do want to open it up in case there is another participant who'd like to play.
I'll take a stab at it. Why not?
Really? Yay.
Yeah. I'm happy to. Let's see here. I'm Appio Hunter. I am a happiness champion. What I do is I work with people who have their own challenges with reconnecting to their inner passions, their inner joy, and learning how to have fun. I create a safe space for them so that they can learn how to reconnect to their inner child and be okay with it, following the passions, following the fun, being the person that they've always wanted to be. And by doing so, I'm sure, I do so, in a way because, for myself, I came from a space of deep depression. I've had a lifelong relationship with depression. So I know what it's like to be in that dark space where the only option that you feel like is available to you is to end it all. And so by having, developed a number of thriving mechanisms, I'm able to guide people through that and hold them in that safe emotional space that gives them permission to be who they really want to be, so they can move forward and create a life that they really want to be and live with passion, joy, and fun.
Does sound wonderful. So I do have feedback.
Excellent.
All right. Okay. So I would say this. I would say that there's a lot of fantastic adjectives and descriptors, but I can't imagine when I'm listening to it what you actually do. Okay. Or what, like I get a lot of their outcome, but I don't know the mechanics of what it is. Do you talk to them? Do you write to them? Do you just send them healing energy? Like I haven't actually figured out what you do. So if I said to you, hey, so what brings you here? What do you do? And you told me that, I actually you haven't told me who you do it for. And I don't get a sense of you yet. I get a sense that you're really happy and a caring person. But from a pitching perspective, I would almost want you to talk about, I'm a happiness champion. I love that. And that really spawned from, having nearly ended my life at my deepest depression. What I did is I realized, I got help. I discovered some really impactful methods that helped. And so now when I'm with a group of people, I run them through these processes. I help them uncover the limiting beliefs. You don't have to say what I'm saying, but I don't 100% know what verbs happen in your life. So do you want to try Do you want to go again? Just
Yeah.
another round. I
Yeah.
love the words you're using.
Great.
I want my brain wants to anchor on, on the activity. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
go.
Great.
Thanks for letting me share.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm
Hi.
Apio.
So,
Hi.
oh, hi. So this is a great conference. What do you do?
I am a happiness champion.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's something that I have a real passion for. Basically, what I do is I work with groups and show them when I'm working with a group. I show them how to reconnect to their inner child, how they can give themselves permission to seek their passions, have fun, live in a space of happiness. I chose this particular path for myself because I come from a place of deep, a lifelong relationship with depression. I know what it's like to live in a space where the only thing that you feel like you have available to you as far as options are concerned is to literally end it all. So through a process of lots of therapy, self-discovery, I was able to develop certain thriving mechanisms, which I now share in group settings, sometimes individually, speaking to audiences around the world about how they can literally live a life of passion, joy, and fun. One example of that would be using gratitude to interrupt the thought processes that lead you to that dark place, and how you can distract yourself into a happier, better feeling place.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
So,
How do I
well,
learn more? How
thank
do I
you.
buy from you?
Well, you can contact me through my website, apiohunter.com. Or you can also go to find me on Facebook and connect with me there. And
That was really great. That was really great.
awesome.
Yeah, I loved it. I know that because I had interrupted your awesome flow, you might not have had but honestly, it really felt great. I don't know if we can get some nods or thumbs up if people felt there was a difference on round number 2.
Looks like there are.
There, because you gave me examples. You told me what you do. Then I saw you in a room with a group, and I had a sense that, oh, could he come and talk to my group, or could I be in a group like that? Like all of a sudden, I knew where my body could be in relation to what you could do for me. Sorry, that sounded totally chicken
Great
bone.
visual.
But I really did. I loved it. Did it feel? How did it feel for you?
It felt better. It felt better because it was the first time that I had gone. I had obviously learned how to do an elevator pitch more in a salesy type way. So doing it more in a conversational way was a unique and a good experience. It honestly felt better doing it that way. And you're right, by just saying, what I do, how I do it, and who I do it for. It just.
Well, and you told me what was unique about doing it with you. There was that authenticity of doing it with you. I know that you've seen the other side. Like, I know that you've been there and that you've come from there. So you already have the innate success built in, right? You've told me, some intimate stuff in this interaction. So I'm thinking, if I'm a stranger and I'm hearing that, I'm like, wow, this guy's the real deal. Like he's probably going to deliver an incredibly, touching kind of deep workshop, because look at how deep he's going in the elevator.
Right.
And I think that for the kind of work you do, that demonstrates a lot. And compared to the first version, which is all about the outcomes I might get, that client, or not even that I might get, but that clients might get, that are hard to measure. And from a sales perspective, I think people like to know what they're going to get. So at least now they know for sure they're going to get a guy who's done it for himself. So there's a track record. There's a person who's trusting and genuine. So we're going to get that great rapport in the room if I sign up, or however it works. So already I'm seeing the value I'm going to get.
Yeah.
Just from the 3 minutes, not even 3 minutes, I don't know, a minute and a half. I should have timed you. I'm all of a sudden I'm like, wow, this is really worth something, because he's the real deal. Awesome. That was really, really great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Goodness, that was really fun. And I'm inspired by you both. Wow. So this is my wow screen. Now we have another participant who seems to be, maybe very engaged, but maybe not willing to share before we go on, because we do have time. Do we want another example? I don't want to single anyone out, but just with the thumbs up or thumbs down. Do you want to play? Thumbs down. Okay, no problem. He got a dose of me in Ventura Beach, so he's good. So with launching your and it's late where you are, so you're tired. That's okay. So launching your pitch, practice is important. And we just practice, like you both pitched twice, and just in the shift with a little bit of feedback, there was a shift, and with this being recorded, I think, pulling out what you liked or what you might want to recreate and reproduce, and really practice getting that out there is important. I do it in the car. I mean, I imagine running into somebody in every kind of industry, and what would I say if it was some executive that would intimidate me in a certain industry that I don't know well? What would I say to another soccer mom who has no idea what I do for a career and she thinks I'm unemployed? How would I communicate what it is that I do in a meaningful way, whether there's a sale at the end of it or not? How can I do that, and what might I say? I really, in my own mind, I practice it, but practicing it out loud when you bump into somebody. And if you haven't bumped into somebody in a long time and you meet them in a lineup at Starbucks or somewhere else, they go, "Hey, I haven't seen you in forever. Are you still working for that law firm?" No, actually, launch into your pitch in a conversational way. And the handout I have really shows the road, the conversational road of how you might incorporate your pitch out into the real world. So I would definitely say be ready to soften it and make it a more two-way, depending on who you're engaged with. And if it's a friend you haven't seen for a while, it might be a back and forth, like toss the ball a little, and get back to your point though, and because it's an opportunity. And if you see it as an elevator pitch and not a sales pitch, it's an opportunity to share what you do. They might not be interested, and that's fine. That's good. You're not in sales mode. But they might remember when they're somewhere 2 weeks from now that they bumped into you and that you're doing this thing that might really help their friend. So I think in the end, it all circles back to sales. So practice is important. Use your elevator pitch often, starting now. Teachers, at your children's school, you could do it with, the dentist. They often make chit chat. What do you do? And they don't want to hear a long thing. So it's an automatic cutoff time because they're going to shove something in your mouth. So you can really find the shortest, quickest way to say what it is that you do and why you do it in a special way. What makes you special? So pitch whenever you can, wherever you can, to whomever you can. And because you're not looking to make a sale, it's going to come across as just you being a very interesting and interested person, because ideally your pitch is a bit of an investigation into what's interesting to them. And there's examples of how to do that in the handout that Appio will send out. Now, for those who really feel like they need the one-on-one support and they want the one-on-one feedback, with me, I can do that. I'm happy to do that. I do that a lot for, sadly, politicians who need softening in how they deliver. I do have clients who are in sales as well, or who are in kind of public relations stuff. I end up doing public relations consultation in the other half of my business. I have a special offer for folks who are on this call or who are listening to this recording, and it's $55 US if you do want 45 minutes with me to really go after you, put you in the hot seat, really clarify with you what is your gift, how you're communicating that, whether you sound pushy or not, and really role play. And we did that in Ventura at the presentation last week, and we had about 3 or 4 people come up, and it was really helpful. One of the really nice things about that was one of the women who sought me after for one-on-one, she was a beautiful person, a really, really kind person who had saved her own life and had recovered from addiction and some really difficult situations. And her pitch was very soft at first, very, you couldn't tell exactly what she was offering or what she was saying or doing. And it was very just sort of circular. And finally I was like, so what is it that makes you special? And then when we got to the fact that what made her special was that she had been, on the brink of death in a very, very difficult situation, and that she had recovered and she had a system, she had a plan that she could share. And she was sharing that with youth in shelters and women, battered women in shelters and addicts. And she just spoke with such power. I was like, okay, well oh my God, that's amazing. That is so what you need to be talking about. So when we practiced the pitch the next time, she started out with, well, I'm an addict. And I was like, okay, whoa. So now like rein it back in a little bit. So yes, that's important and that's valid. But at the same time, in some audiences, because they haven't heard all the background that I heard that makes you so awesome and a recovering addict, which is valid and great, and I respect the hell out of you. Maybe we just need to soften the delivery a little bit here. Get me loving you, get me interested in what you're doing, and then give me the credibility of because you've come through addiction. So some of that finessing is worth doing in a safe space. And so at the end of the conference, when there was a get on stage and share what you've been doing for the last 5 years in this particular group, she won from her table and she got to go on stage and she presented what it is that she's overcome. And she just emailed me, I think 3 or 4 days ago, that it was the most transformational time to be able to declare who she is and what she does and where she's come from and all that she's overcome in a powerful way. And she thanked me for the hot seat in the elevator, and I was crying as I read the things that she sent. So a great testimonial to the work that really having a safe place to practice your pitch. If you have that in your social network, someone who's safe and who will give you the real feedback, including you sound really flaky, I don't think I'd ever spend money on you. That's really good feedback. You don't want to try that, pitch out in the world and discredit yourself really early on, because you could be magical at what you do, and you're just using words that are very nondescript. And there are people who I know who are practicing shaman who have an elevator pitch that they could, honest to goodness, they could get, an entire week's retreat booked with, Xerox Canada, because they are so good at demonstrating the value that they bring in the work that they do that typically would seem exceptionally, woo-woo. So it is all about how we choose the words and for the market that we're going after. So that's it for me. I'm open for Q&A. And
that was amazing, Angie. The example that you used, I remember that. I remember the gal coming, getting up on stage and sharing that pitch. None of us realized that it was a pitch, and literally everybody in the room was on their feet, cheering and clapping for her.
Yeah.
It was absolutely amazing.
That was a touching moment for 200 people though, really feeling the power.
It really was. Absolutely.
Yeah. Words are powerful.
Yeah. Now, Haviland, I see that you had a question, didn't you?
Yeah, no, just some feedback. I can't wait to watch the recording again. This was some really, really awesome information, Angie. And I'm really excited about being able to get even more clear and concise about it. The ideas that you gave, the different settings and audiences that you could use it to, just really simplify what for me was a very frustrating process and scary. Oh God, it seems scary. Mm-hmm. So this makes it all seem more doable and exciting to do. And I love the idea that we're able to get out of our own way by recognizing it's not a sales pitch. That takes such a tremendous amount of pressure off that I felt before, and it really allows me to get into the fun of talking about what I love to do and why I love it and how it's